Hey Dragon Slayers, today's video is about glucose intolerance. So, we readily embrace the idea that certain people respond poorly to certain foods. We all know people who shun dietary lactose, which is lactose intolerance, or avoid wheat, which is gluten intolerance, because of how they feel afterwards or what it does to their body or their health. Is it inconceivable then that some of us may respond negatively to dietary glucose? The idea that some of us have less tolerance to glucose is revealed with a quite simple experiment. People drink a glucose solution and we measure what it does to blood glucose and insulin. Across this group of people, even though fasting glucose levels will be similar, the degree to which the consumed glucose will impact blood glucose can differ wildly, including blood glucose levels that rise more than double the levels seen in others. Importantly, these same people can have equally elevated insulin levels. This is glucose intolerance, where some bodies have to just work harder to move the glucose out of the blood and into the body's cells. You're likely already suspicious of insulin as a key factor in determining why some people have a strong response to glucose than others. And you're right. In fact, we know that if the fat cells have become insulin resistant, usually the first cells in the body to fail or to fall, glucose intolerance will soon follow. If a person is glucose intolerant, you'd expect them to have a better response to a diet that lowers dietary glucose. And evidence supports this theory. In 2007, results were published for a study that sought to rigorously compare the metabolic improvements of accompanying four prominent diets: the Atkins diet, which was around 30% carbohydrate, the Amish diet, which was around 60% carbohydrate, the the Learn diet, which was around 50% carbohydrate, and the Zone diet, which was around 40% carbohydrate. Due to the mix of diets included, the study became known as the A to Z study. A 2013 follow up study by these same researchers explored the degree to which insulin sensitivity impacted the response to the diets with the least, which were the Atkins diet, and the most, which was the Ornish diet, had the least to most carbohydrates. Interestingly, all subjects lost weight on the lowest carbohydrate diet, regardless of insulin sensitivity. However, only insulin sensitive subjects, those that are most glucose tolerant but not insulin resistant subjects, those that were the least glucose tolerant, lost weight on the highest carbohydrate diet. Differences in gut bacteria could explain how some people are able to readily use carbohydrates and others aren't. That's right. The billions and billions of bacteria in your intestines that help you digest food may be the strongest distinguishing factor that determines how intensely your glucose and insulin response to a carbohydrate rich meal is. Scientists at the Weizmann Institute found that a person's gut bacteria determined the glycemic load of a food, and that some people had a fairly minor response to things like ice cream, while others had a dramatic glycemic responses to common foods like wheat bread. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. And remember, guys, that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.